Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the new Martin Gatton Agricultural Sciences building here at the University of Kentucky in the Martin Gatton College of Agriculture, Food, and Environment. For those of you that I don't know, my name is Jacob Ball, and I'm currently the Executive Director for Bluegrass AgTech Development Corps. And on behalf of the board partners, our awardee recipients, previous recipients, partners in the room, I want to thank you all for taking the time to be here today for this celebration of our newest round of AgTech cohort, AgTech Challenge Grant cohort. Last year, we had this event at the AgTech headquarters out in Nicholsville, and I had just been appointed as a new executive director, and it was an exciting time, and it's crazy to see the growth that we've experienced over the year, and there's a lot of momentum around the organization, and I know that that would not be possible without each and every one of you in this room. For those of you that aren't aware, the Challenge Grant Program, which we're here to celebrate today, is our primary vehicle at Bluegrass AgTech to support early stage AgTech entrepreneurs with capital and support as they continue to grow their business and have an impact on farmers and agriculture here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. This past year, we had the most applicants we've ever had, and I would argue, and there's several folks in the room and the board partners who served on that review committee, some of the strongest applicants we've ever had. And so it's exciting to see not only the program itself continue to grow, but the growth of AgTech across the entire state. I think, as I mentioned last year, prior to taking on this role, I was a teacher. And being a teacher, agriculture technology and entrepreneurship were some of the most innovative and exciting ways to engage my students in agriculture. And it's clearly just, it's great to see that the careers that I would tell my students about that would be available for them someday are starting to be grown right here in the Commonwealth. And so, I took this position to help build that future, not only for myself, but for our students, and to have a stable food source through technology and agriculture across the state. So today is all about celebrating those entrepreneurs that are driving agriculture and ag technology forward across the state. Now, this organization would not be possible without the 4 founding partners of Bluegrass AgTech Development Corps. And I'm pleased to be welcomed by representatives from all of those organizations today. Mayor Linda Gordon with Lexington Fayette Urban County Government, Dean Laura Stevenson from the University of Kentucky Martin Gatton College of Agriculture, Food, and Environment, Kyle McKinney with AgTech, and Brandon Reed with the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. Without those partners, their expertise, their networks, their financial support for the organization through the City of Lexington and through the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund, this program that we have here today would not be possible. Not only do I want to thank these folks, but I want to thank all of the staff members at the various organizations. I am a team of one, and without the support, especially today, from our partners from Lexington and from the University of Kentucky and AgTech and KDA, this event would not be possible. So I truly thank everyone for helping out with this event. So, as Executive Director, I can't imagine a better group to work with, and it is my honor to turn it over to our Board President, Mayor Linda Gordon, who's going to bring welcome on behalf of City of Lexington. Thank you, Mayor.
Not quite as tall as Jacob. There we go. Good morning, everyone. It is great to see such a robust group of folks here today. And I want to welcome you to a wonderful day for Kentucky agriculture, Kentucky jobs, as well as Kentucky's future. And I would argue, Jacob's been with us now for a little over a year as our executive director, that a lot of that growth has occurred this past year. We had a wonderful beginning executive director who's here with us today, Bob, he did all the nitty-gritty of the bylaws and the legal stuff, and it wasn't a lot of fun, was it? Okay, but we had a great start, and thank you for your hard work this year. So after 2.5 years of prep work, research, focus groups, all kinds of work, we started Bluegrass AgTech Development Corp in 2022. It is already having a significant impact. Today, we're announcing our 3rd round of Challenge Grant funding. Our first two rounds have supported companies that now employ 72 people and have spent over $1.5 million buying crops from our farmers, crops the companies process into new products. Our investment of $925,000 in the first two rounds has leveraged more than $12 million in private investment. That is a real success story. That is economic growth. And like many success stories in Lexington, it's rooted in a strong partnership. Partners in the Bluegrass AgTech Development Corp, as mentioned before, are the University of Kentucky Martin Gatton College of Agriculture, Food and Environment, AgTech, the Kentucky Department of Agriculture, and the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government. Agriculture is a growing, important sector of our economy, and I think because you're here, you believe in that, right? And in Fayette County, a recent study showed that agriculture every single year contributes $2.6 billion to our economy. That is quite large, and so it's very important. Each year, about $49 billion annually to the state economy. The goal of these grants is to grow those numbers by producing new jobs in AgTech. We want Kentucky, as well as Lexington, to be the international hub of AgTech business. AgTech businesses are attracted to Lexington because of our highly educated workforce, the University of Kentucky, and our vibrant agricultural community. Economic growth is always important, always. And it's a top priority here. It's something we work on every single day. In addition to providing economic opportunities for our residents, economic growth makes the high quality of life that we enjoy here. We have had a lot of success attracting and growing business jobs in recent years. Lexington's economy right now is setting an all-time record in the number of people working here. The Bluegrass AgTech Development Corp will help us continue that success as well as help our farmers and our agriculture sector. So thank you very much for being here. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Now you've got to put the mic up.
Thank you, Mayor Gordon. The mayor is one of the original founding members of the Bluegrass AgTech Development Corps, and as president, we've seen extremely a great deal of growth under her leadership, and we appreciate your time and effort. Next, I want to turn it over to our next speaker. I may be a little bit biased as a graduate of the University of Kentucky College of Agriculture, but I think the best dean on campus, Dean Laura Stevenson, to bring remarks and welcomes on behalf of the University of Kentucky College of Agriculture, Food and Environment.
Thank you. Oh, appreciate being here. It's a pleasure to be here alongside Mayor Gordon and Kyle McKinney with AgTech and Brandon Reed with Kentucky Department of Agriculture and so many others who truly believe in the promise of agriculture and technology working hand in hand. I'm also proud to welcome you here to this brand new Martin Gatton Agricultural Science Building. It's a place designed to prepare the next generation of leaders, problem solvers and innovators, and it's an ideal setting for what we're doing today, celebrating innovation, AgTech, and the opportunity to truly support producers across the state. As Kentucky's land-grant university, I always have to say we have a responsibility. It's our responsibility to put knowledge to work through teaching, extension, and research, and we connect the expertise of our university with the needs of our farmers, businesses, and communities. And that mission is especially important as Kentucky producers right now navigate the rising cost, the changing markets, extreme weather, and just other complex challenges. Helping our farmers succeed requires us to listen, and to listen to their needs to bring the right people together and turning promises into practical solutions. Bluegrass AgTech demonstrates that is possible when we do the work in partnership. By connecting entrepreneurs With producers, researchers, industry leaders, and communities, we're creating an environment where innovation can move from an idea to real-world application. The first 2 rounds of challenge grants have shown that this investment is paying off. We're celebrating that businesses are growing, jobs are being created, and farmers are gaining access on new tools, technologies, and markets that can help them succeed. Today, we're going to be building on that progress by welcoming a new group of innovators into this growing ecosystem. Although their ideas and approaches differ, what they share is a commitment to developing solutions that strengthen agriculture and improve lives. So we're proud to be a founding partner of Bluegrass AgTech, and we're committed to helping make Kentucky a place where agricultural innovation can take root, grow, and succeed. So I look forward to the announcement of this year's challenge grant recipients and to seeing how their ideas will benefit producers and communities throughout Kentucky and beyond. And thank you to our partners for continuing the vision and commitment. And thank you to everyone here today for helping us build a stronger future for Kentucky agriculture.
Thank you. Thank you, Dean, and thank you, Mayor, for those remarks and welcoming our guests here today. Real quickly, before we get into the announcement, I do want to take some time, and some of the amazing economic impact and numbers we've seen have already been mentioned today. But I want to just take a few moments here to really highlight the impact. And at your tables there, we've got the flyer with some of the updated grant metrics, and then also please feel free to take the copy of the impact report there to go more in detail about the success of Bluegrass AgTech Development Corps. As we've already mentioned today, the founding partners came together in 2022 to develop this organization that could really be the catch-all, the clearinghouse, the collaborator, the connector for ag technology growth across the Commonwealth. We connect our innovators with capital through the Challenge Grant Program. With this expert network, so the partners and the other partners in the room that you see, we help link these great entrepreneurs with the resources they need to help to be more successful. And then again, as an organization, we hope to scale the entire state as a leader for ag tech. And continue to grow that economy. When this first started, the name Bluegrass, there was an original emphasis on the Lexington region, but very quickly, especially with our partners at the Kentucky Department of Agriculture, there was an emphasis on how do we make this a truly statewide ecosystem. The map that you see on the screen shows where you have literally received applications from Pikeville to past Paducah, as our former basketball coach might say. But you can see that we have a great network of applicants from all over the state. And I think that speaks to the excitement and the momentum behind the organization to continue to go across the state. And you can see the dark green counties on the map there include our awardees. So we have awardees in Louisville, the Lexington area, and then several down in the western part of the state. I'm not going to read all of these to you, but we, as was mentioned before, we had the Bluegrass AgTech Development Corps is focused on very specific areas that we think are wins for Kentucky agriculture. For the innovators that are being awarded today, along with the previous challenge grant winners, their technologies or their solutions must apply to one of the focus areas. Along with the focus area, the other areas of importance when it comes to being a grant applicant is impact on Kentucky farmers. That is at the root of the organization. And then secondly, that path to commercialization. The board, the scoring committee believes that the winners today connect to agriculture and have a path to make that economic impact for the state. As the mayor already mentioned, the Bluegrass AgTech Development Corps has awarded, not counting these innovators today, but in the first 2 rounds, $925,000 capital from the organization, and those companies have reported to us that they have leveraged that into an additional $12 million in investment. That's a 13-to-1 return on investment. And I don't have the background in business development experience, but I think that's a pretty good ROI. I'm not for sure. But it's exciting to see that the innovators, the companies that we are selecting to award, are truly making an impact across the state. They're taking the network of the Bluegrass AgTech Development Corps, turning that into private investment, additional federal grants, and a lot of you in this room are partners that have helped those companies achieve those awards, and we thank you for amplifying that effect to have more impact on Kentucky agriculture. As we've already mentioned, some of the companies that we award, their technologies are on the end of the value chain where they have a new technology, and we'll hear from one of those in just a moment with Campbell, where they are buying or using Kentucky commodities for a new technology. So we've seen several of our companies report that of the cohort of 10 companies, we've paid over $1.5 million back to Kentucky farmers. Those projects, whether it be through test trials, research experiments, whatever it may be, we've seen over 1,900 acres across the state impacted by companies that have been awarded by Bluegrass AgTech. Moving on to the farms and economic development numbers again, the companies have reported, and this is again talking about the momentum, we've seen a growth from 6 months ago. Companies reported 59 farms engaged, and now we're up to nearly 100 farms across the state of Kentucky have interacted with one of our grant recipients. And I expect that number to only grow with the awardees that we're adding today. And those companies have reported 72 Kentucky jobs. Those are small local businesses, small, local small businesses that are supporting full and part-time positions across the state, and a lot of them in rural areas that need that help with economic development. So we can see that the momentum behind Bluegrass AgTech is real, it is strong, and I'm thankful to be a part of the organization. Moving forward, we continue to hope to support these innovators as much as we can with networking, with cohort models and things of that nature. We want to focus and renew that interest and continue to outreach directly to our farmers through different programming and things of that nature to make sure that our innovators are connected to farmers and farmers are connected to the innovators. It's not a funnel one way. It truly is a cycle where farmers use the technology but also provide the input to make things better. We want to continue to grow the AgTech ecosystem across the state, continue to make these strategic partnerships with some of you in this room, but others across the state to continue to leverage the expertise and the network that we have created. How do we make that even stronger? And then finally, the Challenge Grant program itself, we continue to grow that each and every year. And if you're an innovator in the room that's potentially looking at a funding potential, the Challenge Grant application should be live for next round 4, in November of 2026. So that's a quick update on Bluegrass AgTech, and I think it's clearly obvious that the momentum is truly behind the organization, and I thank you all for being here today to be a part of that momentum. Before we get into announcing our newest awardees, we do want to take a moment to highlight and give an opportunity of one of our previous awardees to share about their growth, share about the Bluegrass AgTech program and the impact it's had on their business. So at this time, I'd like to welcome Miles Leach to the podium. He is the CEO and founder of Campbell, who is a round 2 awardee. And also with him today is Aubrey Roberts, who is their sustainability and brand lead here on behalf. So they made the trip up today here from Auburn. So I want to turn it over to Miles to bring a little brief update on Campbell. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jacob. And as Jacob mentioned, we won this award last year, and wow, if you step back and look at how things have changed just in the past year, this is an exciting time to be in agriculture and technology. AI is bursting at the seams, and so there's just a lot of things that are new and different, and I'm really excited to hear from the awardees today about what you've been working on, and we'll also go ahead and congratulate you all. The awardees, what you've done, this should be a milestone in your development, and it is. It's more than the financial support. There's just some serious momentum that comes from this award, and as I think back after receiving the award, I would introduce myself to new prospective customers or prospective distributors, and I would say, here's who Campbell is, and here's what we do. And by the way, we won this Bluegrass AgTech Award in 2025, and it's a serious recognition for the work you've done and the company you're developing. And so that's one thing I've had to do is sort of step back, and we've had a lot of momentum over the past year, and I kind of look at where did this come from, and it really originated with this award. And so there's a lot to carry through with you. Beyond today and through the next year, and some of the paperwork, you just got to do it, but the momentum is there. But I will say the paperwork results in the data that you see on the screen, and that's fundamental to this organization is the data and the impact, and that's how we can keep growing, because we keep showing what the ROI is on this organization. So congratulations to the awardees. Jacob is the glue that keeps this whole thing together. It's very impressive. I've just been really impressed with working with him over the past year. Been fortunate to have somebody like Jacob, and got to interact with Bob a little bit before he left. And but would also, our fearless supporters and sponsors, being a part of AgTech and any innovation space, it's this gray area where you have to operate on faith a little bit, and you can't always look at the numbers in black and white because everything might not make sense. And so if you don't have fearless leaders that really have the experience and the wherewithal to see that this can be something, then you don't have this kind of organization. So thank you to them, to our sponsors, for creating and believing in Bluegrass AgTech. Okay, so we're Campbell Corn Containers. We're down in Auburn, Kentucky. As you all probably know, there's a lot of corn in the U.S., and I'll just be brief on what we do, but we basically just go out and harvest corn stalks, and we come back and we have a two-step process. We cook them basically into a paper pulp, and then we form them into food containers. And as you can see, there's a lot of corn in the U.S., about 90 million acres grown every year, almost 2 million acres here in Kentucky. So just a few high points about our product. It's compostable, it's competitively priced, it's PFAS free, and it's safe for food contact. And so as I mentioned, the momentum and the things that we've been able to do, I want to focus on that for a second. Some of the, like where we first started using our grant funds was with engineering. So we're at a scale right now where we still need to support the operation. We're in the market, we have customers, but we still have to support ourselves at this phase of growth. And we have to find the right path to scale, the path to profitability that we all hear about. And for us, understanding and being able to have the funds to learn more about how we can scale, how we scale properly, how we can optimize our path to scale was extremely important. And now I feel like we have found that path, and we have a clear path, and we have leadership in our company that has all come around and support that single path to growth. So I think the award came along at such an important point for us that we needed the support, and we needed somehow to pull ourselves up, and getting that engineering support to get more optimized and how we're going to do that has been really important. Also, like I said, the momentum, the recognition, the word gets out. In March, we were able to close a $4 million seed round. And so we're, again, all this momentum builds together. And so with those funds, now we have the engineering in place, and we have the path to scale, which we were able to communicate clearly, and investors now understood, okay, here's the path, and yes, we're on board with you to do that. And the other thing I'll also mention to the awardees is just the importance of being in the commercial market. If you have, everybody has a customer of some kind, and that's why we make products. And what are those customers telling you? We were able to, with a little bit of extra breathing room, able to hire a VP of sales, and where I'm the founder and CEO, and I thought I could do it all. I was like, oh, I can sell. I've got the experience, but there are a lot of other things I had to do. And in fact, there are people that are better than me at sales, and I'm realizing this, and it's been a wonderful realization. Because we have had someone full-time with customers coming back to us and saying, here's what they're looking for, here's what they're missing. So sort of at the same time that we're optimizing our path to profitability, our path to scale, we're also optimizing our products and iterating on our products. So these things all come together into a more tight and developed company that really all started a year ago. So again, thank you to the sponsors, and congratulations to the awardees. You've got a really exciting year coming up, and I'm excited to hear about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Miles. It's always great to hear from the founders that the impact, it's not just about necessarily I'm sure the money is great, but also about the network and the support and the momentum that come with being a part of the Bluegrass AgTech Development Corps. All right, so now the moment that you've all been waiting for. It's time to announce the awardees. And so what we're going to do is I will announce and introduce each awardee. And if our board partners the mayor will present your plaque and we'll take a photo right here, correct? Right in this area, okay? So we'll take a quick photo with the awardees along with the board partners and give everybody the kudos that they certainly deserve. So our first awardee of the 2020, I guess we'll go ahead and, if you guys want to come on, thanks. Our first awardee of the Bluegrass AgTech 2026 Challenge Grant is FarmSense, which is based here in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm pleased to welcome the founder of FarmSense today, Brian King. FarmSense is an affordable soil moisture sensors developed for Kentucky farmers with a $50 to $80 price point against other $200 to $600 for commercial alternatives. Early field testing shows that FarmSense can show a 40 to 48% water reduction and better crop quality. So the grant funds from FarmSense will go to manufacturing, sensor calibration, and farm pilots across the state. So let's congratulate Dr. Brian King with FarmSense. All right, our next awardee is actually a previous awardee. So for those of you that are in the room, folks can apply not in consecutive years, but can come back for additional funding. And we're pleased to announce a second winner of the Bluegrass AgTech Development Corps grant is Lepidex. So Lepidex, today we have Angelica Faith Gooden, COO and co-founder, Mary Wallace, PhD senior scientist, Sarah Cornelius, research assistant, Joshua Gooden, research assistant, Maria Labrevo, PhD executive advisor, and Ellie Derbyshire, a consultant PhD. So if the whole team wants to come down for the photo, I don't know if maybe it's just Angelica. So Lepidex is revolutionizing insect pest control with biopesticides that manage corn earworms and other destructive pests. Safe, effective, species-specific, and easy to use. They manufacture their technology right here in Kentucky with production scaling to national markets. And so the entire, you'll hear from them, but they have a really interesting moth technology. So very interesting, again, previous awardee, and we're excited to congratulate and welcome Lepidex again as another BADC awardee. Oh. That's great. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Our third awardee is in the Food is Health initiative from our focus areas. I'm pleased to announce Need More Acres Farm from Scottsville, Kentucky is our third awardee. Need More Acres Farm is a Kentucky-based farm and regional food hub that connects locally grown food with healthcare, schools, and community partners through their Food is Medicine farm-to-school home delivery program. The technology that they're developing will help connect farmers with markets. Pleased to join today Michelle Howell, owner, Nathan Howell, Carter Howell, Lila Howell, co-owners of Need More Acres Farm, Courtney Luking, the University of Kentucky Extension Specialist for Human Nutrition, and LaToya Drake, public health partner for the group. So the whole team come on down for a photo. So let's congratulate Need More Acres Farm. And congratulations to Need More Acres Farm. Our fourth awardee is Pascal Tags. Pascal Tags, I'm pleased to welcome Brandon Young, CEO and founder of Pascal Tags. They're adapting their proven Barcode 2.0 platform that's already been deployed with GE and Defense Logistics Agency for agricultural applications. Through the farm pilot, they plan to harden their technology for difficult agricultural conditions, creating automated tracking of inputs, harvests, and equipment. So congratulations to Brandon with Pascal Tags. Our fifth awardee is Silver Fern, based here in Lexington, Kentucky. Silver Fern is a Lexington software company whose work suite platforms help greenhouse and nursery growers in plant production, forecast demand, and fulfill orders. They already have about 150 growers across the United States and Canada. I'm pleased to welcome Kevin Short. He's co-founder and CFO of the company, and the grant funds will support their AI demand forecasting model called Restock that will predict store-level plant demand and cut losses. So congratulations, Silver Fern. And our final awardee from Hopkinsville, Kentucky is Sunnyside Egg Company. I'm pleased to welcome Patrick Samuels, founder and CEO of Sunnyside Egg Company. Sunnyside is a scaling regenerative mobile egg production to give Kentucky farmers a low-cost path into pasture-raised eggs. Our Kentucky makes it an ideal base, and grant funds will support facility expansion, growth, and carbon credit software for Kentucky poultry producers. So congratulations to Patrick and Sunnyside Egg Company. All right, so that is all of the awardees, and so let's give all of them one last round of applause. So as you can see, the companies, and for those that want to stay after the award presentation here, we'll get an opportunity to hear from each of these founders with a little bit more detail about their technologies. But this is an opportunity of growth. Bluegrass AgTech, the exciting innovation that is occurring across the state, we're just a small part, and we're excited to help support these companies. So what we're going to do now is pause or transition from the award presentation into if there is questions from the media or press to answer questions on behalf of the board or board partners or myself. We can build in a little bit of time here to answer those questions from the media. But I do want to take away that round 3 has put 6 more Kentucky farmers on the map. Companies to work with to grow Kentucky agriculture technology, grow Kentucky ag. We're now up to $1.475 million of Bluegrass AgTech development dollars out into the state of Kentucky. And to see that leverage, to see that growth is just an amazing opportunity that I am thankful to be such a small part of. So with that, we'll close the award announcement itself. If there are any questions from anyone in the audience or the press, we'll be happy to take those. And then we can move on into the award pitches. So are there any questions? Let's see. I can do my teacher wait 7 seconds for wait time. Well, I do appreciate, especially the media being here today and all the partners. And so what we'll do is we'll pause for just a moment. We can take about a 5-minute break here. If you need to use the restroom or allow the media folks to take down cameras and those sorts of things. And then we'll transition. We'll be welcome back with Brandon Reed from the Kentucky Department of Agriculture and begin our winter pitches, okay? So thank you all for being here, and we'll transition the pitches. We'll get started here at 11:45. Thank you.